Order 4. This order actually involved the Chancellor rather than the Jedi, but wasn't quite as extreme as Order 66. First introduced in the novel Republic Commando True Colors by Karen Traviss, Order 4 read, quote, "In the event of the Supreme Commander, or the Chancellor, being incapacitated, overall GAR command shall fall to the Vice Chair of the Senate until a successor is appointed or alternative authority identified as outlined in Section 6. This order seemed to be in place for an emergency situation. For instance, if the Chancellor had been assassinated. It was a temporary way for the Grand Army of the Republic to continue operating under the command of the Vice Chair of the Senate. At the time of the Clone Wars, this position was held by Mas Amedda, one of the few individuals who knew Chancellor Palpatine was really a Sith Lord. Order 5 was rather similar to Order 4. It was again mentioned in Republic Commando True Colors, and also dealt with the transition of command of the Grand Army of the Republic. Order 5 read, quote, "In the event of the Supreme Commander, or the Chancellor, being declared unfit to issue orders as defined in Section 6, the Chief of the Defense Staff shall assume GAR command and form a strategic cell of senior officers until a successor is appointed or alternative authority identified." Now, this one is a bit more interesting, because while Order 4 was unlikely to ever be used, who is going to incapacitate a Sith Lord? Order 5 at least seemed somewhat plausible. It's unclear who would have the authority to enact it, likely the Galactic Senate, but just imagine if this were to happen during the events of Revenge of the Sith and before Order 66 was issued. Now, unlike Order 4, which gave command to Vice Chair Mas Amedda, one of Palpatine's biggest lapdogs, we don't actually know who held the position of Chief of Defense Staff or what that role typically entailed. It seems that both Orders 4 and 5 were inspired by the order of presidential succession that we have in real life. This outlines what happens if the United States president is killed, incapacitated, resigns, is unable to hold office, or is removed from office. The responsibilities are passed down a chain that begins with the vice president, followed by the Speaker of the House. Regardless, Orders 4 and 5 were discussed by Clone Commando Atene Skirata and Jedi General Etain Tur-Mukon during a conversation at the Republic's Special Operations Brigade headquarters on Coruscant.